Hello, thank you for watching this video. My name is Brother Sean and I'm a member of the Teo community of Interfaith Franciscans. Currently we are a cyber or online community of men and women in different parts of the world who have followed their heart by living a simpler life as lay monastics in service to a loving God. And though I am a Catholic Christian who was once a nursing monk in the Catholic Church, I'm no longer a nursing monk, but I live here as a Celtic Franciscan who has dedicated his life for peace and unity in the world, and that all God's children will become one and celebrate their love of God at one table, not many. The purpose of sharing this video is to share with your heart, not your head, that it is possible to live the spiritual life as a monastic from your own home. And having lived the traditional monastic life within a community of monks, there is such a difference. Allow me explain. When I entered the nursing order back in 1966, age 16, having said goodbye to my brothers and sisters, my friends, my family, my mom and dad drove 300 miles away from home to take me to this community on an island in Southern Ireland. It was a long journey, and by the time we got there, it was ready for evening prayer. Having said my goodbyes to mom and dad, yes, it was sad, because I was only a young man, a boy. I began to realize the austerities of the life within 2 hours, because I got lost in the building looking for the toilet, and when I found it I just sat there and cried, already missing my brothers and sisters. And I could hear footsteps, and I got admonished for being late for chapel. But over those 8 years, I realized that this was a strange life. I loved it. I so enjoyed the times of prayer. But what I found a real struggle when I was ordained a nursing monk and sent to our other houses in America, different parts of the United Kingdom, I found community living very challenging. The other young monks that were there, we had a great time together, but we were never encouraged to have favourites. It was frowned upon. But the older monks, many of whom were stuck in their ways, we discovered a lot of selfishness, anger and resentment, because we were allowed to go out and do our nurse training so that we could go to Africa as nursing monks, as missionary monks. But all that aside, there were benefits, of course there were. And it gave me a taste for prayer, so nothing was lost. So why a cyber community? Well, looking back, I realized that in those days I'd no time for me. When I received the habit, I lost my identity as a human being. I became a number, not a person. So as a member living the simple life, as a Franciscan who embraces Celtic Franciscan interfaith spirituality, I'm living it in my own home, not in a strange building. I'm surrounded by my pets and friends. Whereas in the monastery, you had to leave your pets behind. And you had to enter a way of life that was rooted in ritual. And its rule of life went back to the 14th century, where it had never been changed. It was quite rigorous and strict. Whereas today I'm free. I guess I'm freer now than I've ever been. Because the moment when I surrendered my heart to God, December 2009, and took my vows, and especially the vow of enclosure, where I have chosen to live like a hermit, but I'm not a hermit. But I chose not to go out to restaurants, to the films, to the opera, to the theatre. I've no regrets. But I do allow myself out for an hour in the morning or in the afternoon, depending on the weather, to walk the dogs. And that I enjoy because we're in a rural community here. So I can go through the woodlands or walk along the estuary and just be still and not meet a soul. So are there any benefits? Yes, of course there are. You've got the freedom of your own home. You set the pace. You drop your own rule of life as a member of our community. And of course that rule of life is looked at, and you're supported whether you've been too zealous or whether you've missed some of the important points, such as time for silence, time for prayer, time for taking care of yourself. Whereas in the monastery, you had none of that. You were up at 5 to the sound of the bell and in bed by 9:30. And every minute of every day was spoken for, literally. And your life was governed by the number of bells. Whereas here, you can get up when you want and go to bed when you want. You can eat what you want, when you want, where you want. There's a greater sense of freedom to explore your spirituality and embrace a loving relationship with God without all the constraints that I had as a young nursing monk, where you had to stick to the teachings of your church. And yes, I am a Catholic Christian, but as an Interfaith Franciscan, I'm able to embrace all faiths. In fact, I was encouraged to embrace all faiths back in April 2008, when my heart guided me to go to Assisi, and there at the tomb of Francis, I sensed in my heart that he and Jesus were speaking, "Go and embrace all faiths," and then establish the Teo community of peace. A community that would welcome men and women of different lifestyle choices, yes, and also from different beliefs. And we each live our life dedicated to God from our own home, our monastery without walls. There are pluses, of course, and there are disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is if you are a person that likes to be told what to do, as many people are, that like to be led rather than to lead, then a community in a conventional monastery is for you. But for those of us who are a free spirit, who wish to explore our spirituality and our relationship with God, then the cyber community is best for you. If you wish, you can explore being a member of our community by going to our website, interfaithfranciscans.com, and there you will find all that you need to know about joining our community. Well, if someone was wanting to become a member, not a monastic, they can become a friend of the community by praying for us, by supporting us. because one of the vows or promises we take is the vow of providence, where as a community we are prohibited from applying for any funding to support us. We've to earn by the fruit of our labours and trusting in God. But if you wish to become a monastic, then there's a 6 months probationary period as a postulant or oblate, where you undergo a course, an online course called the Tree of Life. And you're supported each step of the way with that. It's a heart-centered course. And then at the end of that, you are invited to make a decision. Is it for you? Where we will chat with you on Skype. And if all is well, and you wish to pursue ongoing training to become a lay monastic monk, then there's a 2-year course as a novice. And in the first year of that course, we use the Interior Castle by Trees of Avila as the blueprint. An amazing book. It's a way of life, really. And then in the second year, you focus more on your own spirituality and your spiritual teacher, whoever your spiritual teachers are, whether it's the Lord Buddha, Vishnu, Ganesh, Krishna, Paramahanda Yogananda, Rumi, Osho, Mia Baba. That's your decision, and we will walk with you. At the end, you're invited to become a monastic monk, where the service is done online, and we welcome you. And that's when your spiritual life really begins, the moment you've been ordained an Interfaith Franciscan monk. But as monks, we come to God through the natural world, for we see the natural world, as Francis did, as the cathedral of God. And though many are called to this life, only a few stay. For whatever those reasons are, only God knows why some decide it's not for them. But there's no bad feeling if you choose not to stay. But as an online community, you can marry the two lives as a married person or someone working in mainstream. You can combine an active life as a monastic. There are different levels and you choose. I'm retired now from nursing on health grounds, so I can focus more on living the monastic life, but others have to go out to work as teachers and nurses or as street sweepers. But when we come together for morning prayer, on live stream, evening prayer again, we have a peace vigil at 8 o'clock, and there's a midnight soiree for reflection and healing. And the live stream virtual TV channel becomes our oratory, our synagogue, our shul, our temple, our refectory, where we come, we break bread together, and we support one another. That's basically it. You're not asked to change your belief. You're not asked to become a divorcee and celibate. That choice is yours. If you wish to be a celibate monastic, that's your choice. It's not in the rule that you have to become a celibate. No. You can be in a same-sex relationship that's loving and supportive. You can be disabled, able-bodied, doesn't matter. Let me conclude by sharing with you the beautiful prayer in the book The Interior Castle by Trees of Avila. I cross the bridge into the silent bliss of my castle. I close the drawbridge and forbid all outside influences from entry into this holy place that is my soul. Here in my castle I am alone with God. Under God's light and companionship, I discover the depth and the beauty of my soul. I embrace the power of prayer. I open myself to divine guidance. I surrender myself to become as a channel for grace, healing and service as God directs my life. And that really sums it up. But I would like to conclude, if I may, with the fourfold Franciscan blessing. May God bless you with a restless discomfort about easy answers, half-truths, and superficial relationships, so that you may seek truth boldly and love deep within your heart. May God bless you with holy anger at injustice, oppression, and exploitation of people, so that you may tirelessly work for justice, freedom, and peace among all people. May God bless you with the gift of tears to shed with those who suffer from pain, rejection, starvation, or the loss of all that they cherish, so that you may reach out your hand to comfort them and transform their pain into joy. May God bless you with enough foolishness to believe that you really can make a difference in this world, so that you are able with God's grace to do what others claim cannot be done. And the blessings of God, the Supreme Majesty, and our Creator, Jesus Christ, the cosmic Christ, the incarnate Word who is our brother and Saviour, and the Holy Spirit, our advocate and guide, be with you and remain with you this day and forevermore. Go in peace to love and serve your God, and allow your God reawaken within your heart that beautiful journey that He's calling you to embrace. Namaste. Shalom, inshallah, pax et bonum, Om Shanti, Solo di Caritas, peace. God bless you.